Well, we are down to our last presenter for Cocktail Showdown 3, which has already been a very impressive competition. But our last presenter is Vincent Jacoby, the president of Togronis. Come on up. There he is.
Thanks, Ray.
And we have Paul as well. I apologize.
I thought we nailed it with the name, but I think El Caccino also might take the cake. Thanks so much, BevNet, for having us. Thanks, panel. We're excited to be here. My name is Vincent Jacoby.
Paul Scapecchio.
And we are Togronis. We just launched this past June in San Diego, California. I was asked the other day, how's the to-go Negroni business going? Well, guess what? We're here to tell you. Oh, forgot this. So our story begins some months into the pandemic. Both Paul and I have a background in hospitality. We're both from Buffalo, New York. And we couldn't help but notice there was some restaurants doing these really cool canned cocktails. And one weekend, we were traveling in Seattle, Washington, as you could probably guess, dying for a Negroni. And it wasn't until we made it to Bainbridge Island on a ferry where we found the Negronis, and we just thought this was the coolest thing. Hey, why can't classic cocktails be in a can?
So at this point, we fell in love with the concept. We fell more in love with this name, Togronis. We knew we nailed the branding, but at the same time, we were still two rookies in the space. So we had to look for some validators to encourage us to move forward. So in our market research, we did find that the Spirit RTD saw the fastest growth last year. According to Bacardi Trend Reports, the Negroni was actually the second most consumed RTD in the European market. Quite frankly, here when we go to drink, classic cocktails, including the Negroni, are still dominating on premise. And here in the States, quite frankly, Negroni RTDs are few and far between. So we thought, hey, why don't we become a customer of our own product and create the first brand that was dedicated to true-to-taste Negronis and their variations.
So we had all this validation, and at the same time, we became more aware of the 100 milliliter can. We fell in love with it. We thought enormous potential with this, the sheer consumer convenience, the single serve aspect. And so now we just need to make the Negroni, and you'd think it'd be easy, equal parts gin, equal parts sweet vermouth, equal parts Campari, but Campari is proprietary, so it took us networking for many, many months, and we ended up getting in touch with an Italian vermouth producer who introduced us to Scrappy's Bitters in Seattle, Washington. And this was fitting because this is where our concept originated from. And this partnership unlocked what is now our differentiator, which is a red bitter aperitivo that's proprietary to Togronis.
And that brings us to the juice. So as you all know, Negroni has three components, none of which we compromised on all. So we're going to start with our base. We have a London dry gin. This has hints of juniper, citrus, spice. We do have a full-bodied sweet vermouth imported from Italy. This has vanilla, cinnamon, orange. And then lastly, the standout of the group, which is our red bitter, made exclusively for Togronis. This has a very unique flavor profile of grapefruit, dark cherry, orange, gentian root. So when you bring all this together, what you have is a bar-strength cocktail that's very bright, elegant, well-balanced, and what we feel the most important part, has an approachable bitterness that's liked by Negroni enthusiasts and first-timers alike. But hey, don't take this from us or our gold award in taste. Take this from our #1 fan, my mother, who refuses to drink only Beringer White Zinfandel and now Negronis. So as far as our market strategy, we always did want to lean in on our home networks. So right now, me and Vincent are self-distributing in California. So we do have accounts down in San Diego through Orange County, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Back east, we do have formal distribution in Rhode Island, New York, Massachusetts. We are 83 retailers to date. Most importantly, exciting for us, we did just land our first hotel account, which we plan on making a massive push into next year.
And we did all this being low cost. We produce in small batches. We have all these amazing high quality ingredients, and our price point for one can is $5, 4-pack for around $18. So my pitch is, hey, this is the best $5 Negroni you're going to find in California. So what does the future look like for this to-go Negroni business, and how do we scale? So Togronis for us is more than just a Negroni in a can. It's our cheers to our Italian heritage, and it's our passion for the most iconic cocktail of all time. So we want to continue down this path with the Togronis Boulevardier, which is a Negroni but subbing the whiskey instead of gin, for those that don't know. And then we wanted to get in this because we wanted to create something that was unique to the marketplace. So just as your bartender wins you over with the classics, we also want to lead the consumer down modern interpretation. So we'll launch a Togronis White Negroni later in the year, and then via a sister brand, a Mezcal Margarita. So we're super excited. Thank you guys for listening to our presentation. Go grab your Togroni and enjoy the ride.
Hey, we know this is the
We were
last
gonna pour
one,
it right,
so
but, yeah.
let's cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Cheers. I was hoping that was for me, but
Yeah,
it's okay.
hang on.
No, it's okay. I'm still on the clock, so it's just 1 second. Paul, you've dabbled in 100 milliliter canned cocktails. What are your thoughts on Togronis?
Yeah, like the name and really, really like the focus. I know it's hard to replicate Campari and the vermouths. Don't be afraid to keep iterating that. It's a demanding, Negroni consumers are very demanding, know what they like and don't like, so keep that open. I love the 100 milliliter format. I think that's great. The black is a little recessive on shelf. It looks great in hand, but just be careful, black on shelf. I think people are coming into foolproof canned cocktails. I think that's coming. I think you're well positioned for that. And I think your pipeline makes a lot of sense. So that's my feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's follow up with that. Brandy, a Negroni-centric brand, there was a product roadmap, but what are your thoughts in terms of where the brand stands right now and its potential to grow from there?
I was surprised to see those two. I love that. I think the Boulevardier and also White Negroni are two really great kind of bar quality cocktails. The packaging is really cool. It stands out. It's different, and we know that a lot of people. I was surprised by this, and all the research we do is that a lot of people are pouring stuff out of a can and over ice, even hard seltzers and all of this stuff. So I think it's just a really cool. The portability is great. Packaging, the liquid's really good. I definitely like the foray into different types of cocktails, and the packaging size I think is really smart. Hotels is going to be really big for you guys, I think. It's a really interesting strategy. I think you had your whole kind of list of different things to do there. I'd be curious to see sort of how brand extensions outside of Togroni go, because that's a very kind of narrow focus, and sounds like you're thinking through that. But because you have a unique packaging, and I think if you really take a good distribution strategy, that could be a point of differentiation.
Thank you, Brandy.
And Nick, I know Negronis are very specific to people. What are your thoughts on the taste of this one?
Yeah, I thought it tasted great. I love, probably echoing some sentiments already expressed, but love the pure play aspect of focusing on the Negroni. Love the liquid, love the small package. Did have a little bit of a question around, I presume that this is meant to be open and then poured over ice, right? As opposed to maybe grab and go, drink on a boat in the park, on a golf course, whatever. And would you considered maybe the watered down version where you just open out of the can, already chilled, and it tastes diluted down to whatever a cocktail should be, probably a little lower than the 25, I think that you're at, right?
We designed it to be kind of in between RTD and RTS. But I think we've come to realize that we probably prefer it over ice for this version, and maybe in future iterations as we kind of grow, we'll look into more of an RTD style, because we want golf courses to be a huge part of our business. So
Yeah, we went through 7 different variations, and it was all about the dilution, right? Where was the sticky point? Could you drink it just out of a can? Preferred over ice. So ultimately, we did land on a formula that could be both, but obviously we prefer over ice with a little expressed orange.
yeah.
Makes sense. And then other comment, love the product roadmap. I think it makes sense, particularly the riffs on the Negroni. I was a little confused with the Mezcal Margarita, back to my points earlier.
Do you want to address that?
Yeah, so not everyone loves a Negroni, and scalability. Like where could we go next, right? So we got into Negronis because we felt that was a little bit higher of a barrier to entry, as we feel Mezcal is too. So we want to bring that to the RTD market.
This will be under a sister brand. Yeah.
Brandy?
Just more of a comment. I think having the ability to have to pour it over ice is not a bad thing. Most consumption of RTD is actually at home. So as much as we talk about portability all the time, over and over and over again, data and researchers, people drink at home, right? So 80% roughly people are buying at off-premise to consume at home. And so a lot of the canned cocktails are enjoyed at home for occasions at home. And because of the pandemic, which I've heard a lot about, like all these brands coming out, people are making drinks at home and they're enjoying them at home, and they have the barware and the glassware. So I don't think having to pour it in a glass of rice is any kind of a barrier. In fact, I think that's really more how people are drinking. And so you're set up for more of an elevated cocktail pour at home, which I think is a positive thing.
Paul, you'll get the last word for the competition.
Yeah, just a couple comments on the packaging. I think the 4-pack with the pop-up display is smart. It's very functional. The pull tab that releases, that concerns me a little bit, but that's an easy rotation at some point.
Yep. All right, excellent work. Well done.
Thanks, Ray.
Cheers.
Look, guys.
It's all gone.
Okay, this is the second time that we've done this competition live, the third time overall, and I was so impressed with all the presenters. Coming up here on stage is not an easy thing to do, and I thought they all did a fantastic job. Round of applause for all of our contestants today. I'm pretty sure the judges have a difficult decision to make, but make that decision they will. We're going to go to an undisclosed location. Don't look for us, because they need to make a decision, and we're going to announce that decision at 6 p.m. Pacific time. You don't want to miss it if you're watching on the live stream. For folks who want to find out who that is, be in this room by 6 p.m. Because that's when it's going to happen. Also, just want to let people know there is a bar back here with all of the product samples, all the samples that were brought up today. So please taste, because that's why these folks brought these products. Thank you so much again. And one more thing, how could I possibly forget? Our incredible judging panel. Thank you guys so much for all your contributions. Outstanding work.